All right. Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. I figured I would come on tonight and just add a little value to your life, especially if you're looking to eat a little bit healthier or to at least live a little bit healthier. So what I came up with is 3 quick tips, right? It's this way, right? Over here. See, I'm so confused. It's the other hand. 3 quick tips. So let's talk about those 3 quick tips, shall we? The first tip is the magic one. Everybody, we all know it. It's called water. At least 64 ounces of water a day. You're looking at a guy who lived on Diet Pepsi for probably 30 years. And now, always at my side, my 20-ounce tumbler full of water. So that's tip number 1, guys. Drink your water. Matter of fact, probably one of the best habits you can get into is when you get up in the morning, drink an 8-ounce glass of water as soon as you get up. It kind of jumpstarts your body, really, really fires your whole system up because now you're rehydrating after sleeping because you actually do lose water overnight when you're sleeping. You exhale it, you can imagine. So, especially if you're a mouth breather when you sleep. Me, I dehydrate every night. So first thing I do in the morning, glass of water. Every morning. And then the rest of the day. And guess what? Then I crave water the rest of the day. That's something, there's another little tip there, guys. You'll crave the water for the rest of the day. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's tip number 1. This is going to be a fun one. You ready? Salt. Stop adding salt to your food. It's really simple. Take that thing of salt off your table and put it in the cabinet. And you can use it when you prep the food, but don't add any more when you're eating it. It's going to be tough because people are so used to salty, right? There's 2 flavors that people just go crazy for. And that'll be tip 3. The first one is salt, right? The first one is salt. Well, actually, the other one's really first, but salt's important because salt is what causes your body to retain fluid. It could cause high blood pressure because of all the fluid you're retaining. So when you cook, use the salt to prepare your dish. But once you take it over and put it on the table, don't add any more salt. And also, when you're out shopping, here's a little tip. Those nutritional labels, they're not just there because the government mandated them. They're to help us learn how to be healthier. I didn't learn that until I started this journey, and there's not a label in a grocery store that I haven't looked at now. And if I go into a grocery store, I'm like looking at the label all day long. And we really should, because the information that's on there is going to guide you to what's going to be the healthiest for you to eat. For instance, salt content. If it contains more than 300 milligrams of salt, you probably want to consider maybe not eating it, unless you're just going to eat it one time. But if it's something you're going to use as a staple or for something or another, you don't want to have a lot, because all that sodium stays in your body. Your body doesn't excrete it as quickly as other things. So there's a problem for you. So start looking at that. Like I found these salsas. Believe it or not, I found some of them at a Walmart store that were really good. And they have less than 200 milligrams of sodium, and they're only 5 to 10 calories a serving. Sub-tip, serving size. That'll come in a minute. All right. Now the third thing is check that nutritional label for added sugars. This is an easy one. This is the no-brainer, guys. Right? Everything, just about everything that is made, and we talk badly about processed food, but you know what? It's not processed food that's bad. It's commercialized processed food. Okay? I mean, there's plenty of food that's processed that isn't unhealthy for you. I could show you some nutritional bars that are really not bad for you at all. Not that that's what you want to make a diet out of, but they're good if you're in a pinch and you're moving and you need something to grab and go. those bars can be good because they're low in sodium, they're medium fat, they're good quantity between protein and carbs. So that's a good thing. So that's processed food, but it's not going to be as bad for you as, oh, I don't know. I'll use an example somebody used, Fruit Loops, or almost any cereal you buy in a store. If you buy a cereal in a store, you'd be shocked how much sugar they added. I got one for you, Raisin Bran. They add sugar to, why? Why would you add sugar to Raisin Bran? It's got dried fruit in it. Dried fruit is so high in sugar, it's crazy, guys. It's nuts. So they add sugar because guess what? Sugar, whether you know it or not, is probably one of the most addictive things in the world. You'd be shocked. That's how highly addictive it is. And time for water. So start looking at those labels when you're in the store. If it adds sugar, think about another option. Look for a different way to get that, what you need. Those aisles on the outside of the store, the produce aisle, the meat aisle, and even the dairy aisle, for the most part, except for some yogurts, don't have a lot of added sugar. My story about that is I was in the hospital one day and I'm on the cardiac diabetes diet because that's what I am. I'm a cardiac diabetic patient. And I can order yogurt. So I'm like, yogurt, no brainer. I'll order yogurt. Well, I won't name the name brand because that's not fair. You can do your own research. But I get this little container of yogurt, about this big, shaped like that. You might get the idea. And I look at it, and in that little thing was 13 grams of sugar. I'm thinking to myself, no, I would never eat anything with 13 grams of sugar anymore. I just don't. It's like a thing. Because believe it or not, I think I keep myself under, I have to look at my macros, I don't have it handy, but I think I keep myself under 30 grams of sugar a day because of the diabetes. So eating 13 grams in that one thing could screw up my whole day. Could screw up my numbers for a whole week, whatever. So I'm like, I can't eat that. So that's the other tip, is that you want to do those three things. You want to drink 64 ounces of water. You want to stop adding salt at the table because you don't need it. And if you're going out to dinner, don't even bother. A quick story about that. I have a couple minutes here. When we go out to dinner and eat at almost any restaurant, doesn't matter which one it is, when you go out, the amount of salt, the amount of sodium in that food, I usually weigh about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds more the next day just from eating that food. And I eat within serving size for me. I don't like, if you bought me like a whole tray of food, I wouldn't eat it. I'd eat what I should eat normally because I eat 6 times a day. So I don't need a big dinner. I don't eat a lot of dinner. So the sodium in that food is that much. So next time you go out to dinner, weigh yourself before you go, the previous morning, and then the next morning weigh yourself again and watch what happens. You'll be like, what? Your mind will be blown. Not to say not to go out to dinner, because guess what? There's nothing better than going on a date with your wife, right? But just don't make it a daily thing and try to avoid eating a lot of stuff that has sodium on it. French fries are probably one of the worst. Luckily, I haven't had a good plate of French fries in a while, so. Well, you're right. We did have one at Cape May, right? My audience. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And whoever gave me the heart, thank you. I'll have to look and see who it was. I appreciate it. Love you. Bye.